All right, welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily, and use the hashtag Breakfast Daily on all social media platforms. The WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. We do want to hear from you. Now, like I said before, we went on break. It's time for nutrition. And today on the nutrition segment, we'll be talking about sugar substitutes. And to help us to get into this conversation, Akosia Konidi Yadom has joined us on the show. She's a state-registered nutritionist. She's going to help us to delve into this matter. Akosia, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm very well, thank you.
We are well, thank you.
We're good.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So sugar substitutes, what do we need to know?
Okay, so whatever we discuss here would still have to be done in moderation.
Okay.
So there are people who go like, oh, I don't want to take white sugar, which is processed or refined. I want to do honey. I want to do sweetness because I've read that they are healthier alternatives compared to white sugars. To start with, I would say that whatever you eat will need to be converted into glucose before your body can use it up. So the question here has to be, how much are you having? Because when it comes to even the sweetness, how much are you having? Are you a sugar person or somebody who wants to abuse it? Because staying within the right dosages or taking the right quantities or servings will help you gain the benefits you need. But then where you are doing more than you have to do or the wrong things, then it comes to hit you hard. So we'll talk about some of the examples as far as sweetness are concerned. I'll start with honey.
Okay.
Now, we all love honey because it tastes nice, and when you have raw, pure honey, you really can understand what it means with what I'm saying as far as it tasting nice is concerned. Now, honey will serve you some benefits like antioxidants. Now, antioxidants will help you as far as clearing your system of free radicals. Now, we have cancer-causing free radicals, and so taking honey will make sure that your body is supplied with the antioxidant like phenolic acid, which is very good as far as clearing free radicals or cancer-causing free radicals off your system. It is also blessed with flavonoids. Flavonoids are good as far as serving you anti-inflammatory properties.
Yeah.
So if you have inflammation, or sometimes there are people who eat and they have inflammation here and there, or if you're having any form of inflammation, you going for honey and doing the right dosages will make sure you are helped. And then a research also showed that 30% of arterial or artery plaque can be reduced. You can reduce your risk of artery plaque by 30% by taking honey instead of another sugar. And now honey contains trehalose, that's the sugar found in honey, which is also beneficial as far as serving your body with some benefits because of the fact that it comes with protein attached to it.
Wow.
And so you are not just getting the sucrose or something as far as taste is concerned, but then the choice you made is serving you other benefits. Protein is very important, so you taking that will help you. But then when it comes to honey, you have people bring their warts or their babies to the hospital and they go like, oh, I give the child honey instead of sugar because I think it's the right way. Now, infant botulism can set in.
Okay.
So infant botulism is a condition. It's caused by Clostridium botulism.
Now you're even confusing us some more.
I forgot to take like chemistry master is here. So now it's a bacteria, and it's associated with dust and soil. And you see the color of honey.
Yeah.
It's easier for them to come in, and so there is even a way to store your honey to make sure you don't introduce soil or dust to this honey, so that you have the bacterial Clostridium botulism happening, causing infant botulism. So now, if your child is below 1, don't worry your head going to give the child honey. But I will sit here and say that too, because when it comes to even evaporated milk and introducing adult stuffs to your children, we recommend that you do it at age 2. And so when it comes to honey, because of the fact that they are very fragile, and infant botulism is that bad because they have this general weakness. It's like they look like vegetable. They are so weak, and there are various signs to show that your child has botulism. So you can see lethargy, so the extreme version of a weak a weak baby. The child is so weak, the child is so fragile, like I said, like vegetable. The way you hold contomere, it will just sleep in your palm. That is literally how your child will feel because of what has happened to the child. So if your child is below 2, don't bother yourself doing honey, because now when you taste even your breast milk, it's not so sweet like sugar.
Yeah.
It is not so salty. And so whatever you are feeding your child should be in between, so that you don't introduce your child's taste buds to more of sugary foods. And the same way with salty foods, because if you introduce them to your child and they get used to it, when you give that child soup and the child doesn't taste salt they don't want to take it. The same applies to sugar. So that is it for the one for the children, because I'm more particular about that one. And then we have some brands that are recommended. Now when it comes to sweetness, some contains 0 calories, others contain some level of calories. So depending on what you are trying to do, you should know the type of sweetener you should choose. For instance, if you are trying to check your weight, sweetness can be healthy alternatives compared to refined sugars. But now the choice you make. So when you are trying to lose weight or check your weight, stevia. The brand stevia is okay because stevia has 0%, depending on the brand. And then we have the pure via, and then we have the true via. It's a type of sweetener under the stevia brand that will help you because it has no calories. And then we have one for the pregnant women, the alucose. There is one sweetener called alucose. It's also very good. It helps as far as pregnant women are concerned. So when it comes to sweetness, we shouldn't box them all together. Depending on your goals, there are people with health issues. And so when it comes to the choice I will recommend for you, I will need to look at whatever you have. If you have diabetes, I should know what to give you, because the ones with the plus calories, if you have somebody with diabetes already, you are going to spike the sugars of this person. And so I will go for a stevia or anything alucose for this person, for this person, to make sure that I meet the need of this client or this patient. And if it's for general well-being, I can decide to play with any of them, but then it will be safer for me if I decide to even go for the ones with with plus calories, but then doing it within the right ranges. Now a sachet is okay. Because they tend to do you well faster than even the other sugars. If I put, let's say, this much into my sugar and it's a sweetener, sometimes the taste goes well as compared to sugars where I have to do like 3 or 4 to get the same taste. So you need to do so well. And then there is this brand on the market. It is red and white. It's very common in our pharmacies. That one contains lots of calories. So you have people go like, I have diabetes, I've been told to do sweetness. But then whenever they take those sweetness, you have that spike going on. Like I said, know what you are buying and know what to go in for. If you are interested in 0 calories, then go for a stevia brand. Even the stevia, there are other brands under it. I've given you trivia.
I'm a bit particular about mentioning brand names, you know, but I think that what you've said makes a lot of sense. Check what you are taking. So you may want to, because I don't want you to also like say something and then somebody goes to try this and then they come back and say, okay, so the registeredness said that, you know,
that's what I'm saying. So look for the 0.
Exactly. So you go out there, make your own choices, you know, and then whatever comes up with, it was your decision.
So there are some benefits. Aside the benefits, there are dangers associated with it. Now you can have tooth decay if you are going way overboard.
Because with the sweetness?
Yes. Okay. Because something like honey, it's nice. And there are people who can go overboard, not just putting it in their coffee, but then they can even put it in their bread. So they do honey with everything because, oh, she sat here and said honey is good. That's one problem with our people. Once you mention that something is good, but I told you in the conversation that it's about the quantities. That is more important, because the benefits I said you can get it. It has wound healing, example, honey. So I'm like, oh, our grandparents were really health people, because when you have sometimes a sore, They can apply it on it. It's for wound healing. It suits the throat. That's why when you have sore throat, they tell you to do ginger and honey in warm water. It gives you that benefit. And I also mentioned the fact that it has flavonoids, which means that the anti-inflammatory properties are playing here. And it's very good as far as your brain health is also concerned. So you doing the right thing will make sure you get what you need. But then doing it wrong, you can increase your risk of diabetes. And in pregnant women, you can have metabolic syndrome for your unborn child if you don't do it well. So you need to make sure you are doing it right. And though it contains antioxidants that clear free radical cancer cells, if you do more than you have to do, you can increase your risk of cancer also, because it comes to that nutrition and health is tricky. Doing this in a certain amount can give you this, but doing it in that amount can also give you that. So you need to make sure you are working with the right portion. There is one I wanted to mention also as far as triglycerides are concerned. Now, if you are doing sweetness and you don't do it well too, it can also affect your heart health.
Okay.
So you need to be guided. That's what I'm saying, and you mentioned it. We are telling you what you need to know. So when you go out, know what to look out for. Don't just go to the shelf and pick any sweetener. Depending on whatever you have, your health condition, if you're a pregnant woman, if it's a child, the age and a lot of factors will need to be factored into it. And then it can increase your risk of depression and anxiety.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How?
So you realize that because when it comes to even dealing with overeating or people kind of munching on stuff, when you are tired and you take anything, you realize that
fizzy drinks,
you realize that it kind of awakes you. It gives you energy. It's like indirect sugar into your system. Now, sometimes people become hyper, even in children, they become hyper. Or we say hyperactive. Yes, because of the fact that they've taken something that's kind of wakes them up. And so anxiety, mood disorders. Right now, I am just seated here after the segment. I am jumping all over. I am too excited. It could be that whatever I have drunk has something that is triggering that in me. So we need to be mindful, because it can make me be all over the place. It can also make Frema looks too down. So when it comes to mood disorders, it can be here, it can be there. Anxiety, what may make me anxious may make you relax. What may make you relax may make me anxious. So when it comes to anxiety or anything that has to do with mood, depression being part of it, your mood being part of it, or any disorders and anxiety, they are all kind of psychological in the same bracket. And so sugars are triggers of some of these things, and we need to do the right dosages. And then weight gain.
Okay, no, continue. No, finish up.
So weight gain, like I said, if you are doing the ones with added calories, you need to be careful, because it can make you also put on weight. So you are not achieving your target, you're trying to lose weight. The sugar substitute you pick can be the reason why, because you are not doing the right quantities, and then it's also loaded in calories. Risk of diabetes in children especially. And then we have stroke, dementia, memory loss, liver damages. Because everything has to do with our whole being, and so it can affect this in me, it can affect this in you, it can affect that. And then risk of Crohn's disease. So it's like it can affect your health in a lot of ways. Looking at the examples I've given, cardiovascular diseases involved because of the triglycerides levels. So your lipid or your cholesterol levels can also rise, and that can lead to heart issues or anything that has to do with your cardiovascular health. So we need to make sure we are doing the right portions.
I was going to ask you, what would be your instinctive preference, natural or artificial sweetness?
I prefer natural sweetness.
Natural sweetness. Okay.
So the example I gave, for instance, is a natural sweetener. But I know where you are buying from, because some of the honeys on the market,
they also mix it with
other things. Mix it with other things. And I always say, because it's brown, sometimes you can do all the wrong things and you'll still look nice.
Wow.
So know where you are getting. And when I'm talking about honey, I stress on the fact that I want pure honey, so that you don't have people, because I saw somewhere, I think it was in the news, they melt foam and other things just to make it
people create their own honey.
So they create their own honey. So know where you are buying from, so that at least you do yourself some good. And so for babies, for weight checkers, for pregnant women. I gave examples for all of these people and the kind of substitutes you can choose.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. How do people get in touch with you?
Okay, so you can follow me or reach me on Instagram at The Nutritionist Akosia, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Nutritionist Akosia, and on WhatsApp 0243350206.
Great.
Right, fantastic.
Thank you, Akosia.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure.
All right. Well, we'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.